it's Ash here from Unleash Multimedia, and I am so excited to be able to walk you through how to make the most out of your Facebook and Instagram ads. And I'm going to share with you 3 strategies on how you can convert your traffic into sales. And I'm really excited about that. But first of all, we're going to run through a couple of foundation pieces that are really important to make sure you have in place before you start running any kind of paid traffic to your website. So I have some slides here and I'm just going to run through those and share them with you just really briefly. And I'm just going to share with you what kind of campaigns we're actually going to set up, because you're going to watch me as I walk through setting up these 3 different types of campaigns. So let's jump in and work through these first few steps to make sure that you are set up ready to go. So first of all, what we want to make sure that we have in place is a business ad manager account. Now, if you don't have a business ad manager account, you want to make sure you go ahead and set that up first. So you go to business.facebook.com and it's really easy. Facebook walks you through that step by step. It can get a little bit confusing, and I do find sometimes this is where things can get a little bit mixed up. If you've already been running, say, some ads, or you've been boosting and promoting posts, you just want to check to make sure that you're not doing that through your personal ad account. So I wish Facebook made this a little bit simpler, but it's the most confusing step of all. So make sure you have a business ad manager. There's a few different reasons for this. As your business grows, you might want to hand over your advertising, and this is where you really can give people access to your account without others accessing your personal or private Facebook profile. And you also want to make sure that you have a business ad account set up so that you're not running ads in your personal ad account. There are a few restrictions with running ads in your personal one. So just make sure, if you don't have any of these already set up, that you go ahead and do this before you start running paid ads. Number 2 is you really also want to make sure that you get what we call a Facebook pixel installed. Now, this is just a little bit of coding that is installed on your website. It's really simple. If you've got Shopify, Squarespace, WooCommerce, whatever you're using, Wix, Weebly, there is a step-by-step guide there. You can also just Google how to install Facebook Pixel on, for example, Squarespace, and they provide you a great blog article on how to do that. But it's really important to make sure that you have this little bit of coding on here, because it's going to track website visitors. And what that's also going to do is track all those add to carts, those purchases, and it's really important for us to be able to make sure we start to populate that so we can use it inside of our ads. So if you're looking to, run some ads for abandoned cart, or you want to get back out in front of that audience who has been visiting your website but hasn't completed a purchase, then we use that little pixel to create those audiences. So really important, even if you're not ready to run ads yet, put this little bit of code on there. There is a pixel number you can see over here. This little pixel number, everyone has a unique ID, and when you go in and create that in your ads manager, then you just go ahead and place that on your website, and everything else is taken care of for you. Now, to check to make sure that you have a pixel installed on your website, you can download a free Google Chrome extension, and it is the Facebook Pixel Helper, and basically it just tells you if your pixel is active on your website or not. It's a really great little free tool to be able to just check your website yourself, and make sure if you're launching your site that you have this on here from the start ready to go. The other thing, if you are e-commerce, you do want to make sure that you have your catalog set up as well, because this is going to help with your Facebook advertising and your ad creatives too. So if you're with Shopify and WooCommerce, that's easily set up. They should automatically, sync across and pull all your products across. Shopify does that very easily, and it will, you can create different sets of bestsellers and things like that, but you just want to make sure you have the basics there so that all your products are sitting in your catalog. So you want to make sure you set that up also inside of your ad account. So now that we've got those really three important things covered off, what we're going to talk about today is creating three different types of ad campaigns. And we're going to take a look at our abandoned carts so that we can reduce those down and get some of those to complete checkout. I know that some of us would have emails going out at abandoned cart stage, but sometimes they just don't get through to that person, or they don't get through, they go to junk or spam and we miss those. So I want to show you how to set up an abandoned cart. I also want to show you how to set up a retargeting campaign is what we call it. But basically it is just creating your custom audiences that have already engaged with you on your website, who have engaged with you on your social media. And if you have Instagram Shop and Facebook Shop, there is a new feature out where you can also create, audiences based on people who have engaged on those as well. So really exciting, lots of different things that you can do with custom audiences, but I just want to show you where to go and set that up and how you would include that into a campaign. We're going to be optimizing for conversions and purchases. Obviously, this is going to depend on, how many purchases you've had through your store, and also, add to carts. Obviously, the more purchases that have occurred on your store and that Facebook has picked up that data, then the better you will be. But I'm just going to run you through that and show you how to set up that campaign. And then I'm going to show you how to set up a traffic campaign that has a new audience in it, a cold audience, an audience that has never heard of your business before. So if you feel like you've been communicating with your, social media audience and you're just speaking to the same people, and you would like an influx of new, ideal customers, then I'm going to show you how to set that up too to get some more traffic to your website. So they're the three campaigns. If you are not e-commerce, you will be able to take note of the traffic campaign, and you can use these objectives, wherever you like along the customer value journey as well. But I just want to show you how to set up these three for today. So this is the first one we're going to create, and I just wanted to give you the slide so that you can see what we're going to be doing. And these are, what we're going to work with. So we're going to focus on abandoned carts first, and the objective that we're going to use is catalog sales, okay? Now, the audience that we're going to choose, this will make a bit more sense when we get in there, but we're going to look at creating an audience of people who have already viewed our products in the last 14 days and people who have added to cart in the last 14 days, but they haven't purchased, okay, in the last 3 days. And this will make sense once we jump in and create that. So that's going to be our first campaign, and as you can see, we're kind of working backwards here because I want you to get some wins, okay? I want you to see those sales coming through, and abandoned carts is a great way to do that. Then we're going to look at our retargeting or our remarketing campaign, we call it, and this is going to be our warm audiences, okay? So these are the audiences that know about us, they like us, they trust us, maybe they've purchased from us before as well. So using these different types of audiences to go back out and put our products or our services in front of, okay? So whether you're looking for a lead or a purchase, this is a great audience to get back out in front of and just remind them that, hey, I saw you visited these products, but you didn't quite complete the order. So we're going to talk about, ad copy as well. But these are what we call our custom audiences, our warm audiences, okay? They already follow us on social media, and they already know who we are and the products and services that we sell. Then the third audience we're going to create is what we call a lookalike audience, okay? So many of you who might have tried Facebook advertising before, you've probably used detailed interests, and that's the most popular one to use when it comes to creating a new audience or a cold audience, okay? But I'm going to share with you one of the tips that I find really helpful when starting out campaigns is to use some lookalike audience. And lookalike audiences are audiences based off your either current purchases or people who've added to cart. They can also be your email list, your social media following, and Facebook goes and finds people who are very similar to the audience who's already engaging with you and who have already purchased from you. So I love to use this inside of a brand awareness campaign, okay? And this is going to be a traffic objective. All right. So just a few housekeeping rules I want you to be aware of is when you are checking your ads, please never adjust a campaign unless you are going to be increasing the budget, all right? So we don't want to be changing the ad placements or changing out the copy or creatives, because what it does is Facebook has an algorithm, okay? And what happens is when we go and make changes in there, it restarts that process all over again. So just be aware of that. You can add in new creatives, but you don't want to be changing the creative or copy that is currently in that running ad. And just make sure that you are aware of the Facebook's policies. There are certain words that we can say and can't say inside of our ads. So just please be very wary of that as well. Make sure that your website has policies and terms and conditions on it too. So the other little thing is to ensure that your images don't have more than 20% text on it, okay? And you want that 80% creative. Now, for those of you who are e-commerce, you probably won't come across this a whole lot, but just be wary of that. There is a free resource. Facebook has a text overlay tool where you can upload your image if it does have some text on it, and they'll give you like the green tick of approval if it's good to go. So just be conscious of that. All right, so now that we've run through those, let's jump in and get stuck into creating some of our ad campaigns. So this is a really exciting part, and we are already inside of the ads dashboard here. So this is what your dashboard will look like. And just a quick run through, up here is where all your business tools are. So you've got the events manager, which is where your pixel is and where you can go and create that. Your catalog manager, which we talked about, where that syncs across from your e-commerce store, all of your products into Facebook. And then you've also got your audiences. So your audiences is where you go and create your custom audiences and what we call lookalike audiences, okay? So what we're going to do first is jump into there, and I want you to go ahead and, you can follow me through this process as we do this. As you can see, we've already got some created in here, but what you're going to do is, I'm not going to go ahead and create all of them, but I'll just show you the steps that you need to take. So if you want to create audiences based off your social media following and your engagement, what you're going to click on is create audience and click on custom audience. So here you can see that you can connect with people who have already shown interest in your business or product. So you can create an audience from your customer contacts as well, your website traffic. There's lots of different options in here. So we're going to click on custom audience. So as you can see here, there's lots of different ways to set these up, and you have so much variety. So one of those is going to be your website visitors. your customer list is your email list. Now, this automatically syncs in with Klaviyo and MailChimp as well. Just check your CRM if it has an integration. Makes things a lot easier because it means it's going to be updated for you automatically. But Klaviyo, you can upload your lists and sync them across and things like that. So that's a really great way to do that. And then you've got your Instagram, Facebook. This is the shopping feature. So you can create an audience of people who interacted with your products in a shopping experience on Facebook or Instagram. You've also got video. So if anyone who's watched videos, you can create a custom audience based off that. But let's just get stuck into this. So first of all, you're going to create your audiences from your Instagram account. And as you can see here, there's lots of different variations. And you can go as far back as 365 days. Depending, how long maybe your business has been around for. Maybe it's not that long, but if you've been around for quite some time, you can go as far back as 365 days, or you can just do the past 90 days, have a look at how many people have engaged with you on your social media and things like that, and you can always gauge it that way. So you're going to go ahead and create each one of these. So everyone who's engaged with you in your professional account, and I just go ahead and name the audience, IG engaged. Okay, I like to name all of mine that I understand which ones I'm choosing. And then you're going to click create audience. Now the thing with this also is that you do have to go back each time and click on it and do a new one. The same with your Facebook page. You're going to do the exact same thing with all of these. So it does take a little bit of time, but once they're set up, you're good to go. Same with the shopping feature. If you have shop feature on your IG or Facebook, you can obviously come in and create those as well. And with your website, so inside of here, we are going to create our website visitors. So you can do people who've visited a specific web page. So if you've got blog articles or you've got custom products that you want to create an audience from, you can do that inside of here and simply just place in the URL in here. Make sure you're naming it, and you can do in the past, however long, 60 days you want to do. You can only go up to a maximum of 180 for them. But if you want to do all website visitors, then you just simply would choose that. And you can see why it's important to have that Facebook pixel installed on your website. So once you've got that, you can basically go ahead and create that audience as well. So these are all of our warm audiences that we're creating. Okay. And then we talked about creating a lookalike audience. So inside of here, this is where we can reach new people who are similar to audiences who already have purchased from us before. All right, so you can come in, create a lookalike audience, and what you want to use here is your pixel. Now, I know that I have a lot of data in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose the pixel and you're going to choose purchases. Now you do have to have a certain number of purchases occur in the past 60 days, all right? So this website isn't currently live at the moment, but this is what you want to do. So you're going to click on purchases and then you'll type in Australia and select that location. And then remember, we're just going to do 1%, okay? So then you'll hit that create audience. And then the other one that you want to come in and do is, again, you'll choose the pixel and then you'll click on other event value and you're going to choose add to cart. And then you're going to create an audience of 1% for Australia and add to cart, or wherever you are located. So if you're the US, you would choose the US, UK, New Zealand, wherever you're located in the world. And I just find this is the first step to testing out a cold audience, okay? So that's what you're going to do there. All right, and then obviously you can create lookalike audiences based off all of your other social media. So all your website visitors, you've got, your page. You can also do Instagram, engage with Facebook page, okay? So you want to make sure you can go ahead, create all of those for 1% as well if you wish, but we're just going to be getting started here. So once you've got all of your audiences created, you can tick that off, and we're going to jump over into the ad account. Now, this is where we get into the fun stuff, okay? So I'll walk through this sort of step by step, and you can just follow along when you're setting up your own. You can come back and watch this again. So first of all, what we're going to do is create our abandoned cart, okay? So click on create. Now, again, this is why you need to have your pixel on your website. If you're only just installing your pixel, you won't have enough data to start with, okay, to be able to run an abandoned cart. So you do need to give it some time. Now, naming the campaigns, I am pretty particular about naming my campaigns. So I'm just going to call this abandoned cart, and I would also set the date when I started it. Okay. And then we are just going to leave everything. We're going to choose campaign objective, and we are going to choose catalog sales. Okay. So from here, we do have two different ways we can set our budget, but in this regard, I am going to set our budget at $10 a day using campaign budget optimization, and you will notice that I will do it a little bit differently when we come to the traffic objective, but just follow through with this. And then again, you can do abandon cart. You can see, so this works in 3 different steps, okay? So Facebook ads have 3 different structures, which you will notice as we come into the ads manager. And this is, the campaign is where we are choosing our budget and the type of objective we're using. When we're creating an ad set, this is where our audience will sit, okay? And then in the ad is where our ad creatives will go. So there's sort of 3 different tiers. Okay, so abandoned cart, and this was going to be 14 days. And then we're going to just use our catalog. All right, so then we'll click Save to Draft. Okay, so once we're in here, what I like to do, just as best practice, is to make sure that we turn off the ad up here, okay? We don't want to walk away and then, come back. Sometimes you need to refresh it and then you'll have to start it again. But if you do hit publish, you don't want that ad to then go live, all right? So make sure that you just come in here, best practice, turn your ad off for the moment with the toggle. And then even if you do hit publish, it's not going to go live until you turn that little toggle on, okay? So just be wary of that. So this is where we're going to come into our abandoned cart 14 days. So this is our ad set level, and this is where we are going to create our audiences. So you can choose from here. This is where our catalog sits. Remember, we talked about all of our products being synced across. So this is where they sit inside of here. You want to use all of your products in an abandoned cart because people are going to be viewing different products on your store. So as we come down, I'm going to click on retarget ads to people who interacted with your products on and off Facebook, okay? And then this is where we're going to come down and we're going to choose a custom combination, all right? So we are going to have here interacted with products from, and you can obviously customize this if you would like to. You could have different products depending on, like maybe around certain times of the year. So you've got viewed products in the last 14 days, have added to cart in the last 14 days, but have not purchased in the last 3 days. Okay, so that's going to go out to everyone who has visited your website, who has viewed the products on your website, who have added to cart but didn't purchase. All right, so then once we've got that set, that's all we're going to do. The placements, I'm going to leave placements on automatic. I never manually choose any placements at all, okay? And that's because I really want to keep the social proof on all of my ad creatives, and Facebook is smart enough that they will do the hard work for you, okay? So I leave my placements on. You can customize this for optimization for conversion events, which would be purchases, because we're optimizing, we want people to complete that purchase with us. Okay, so we've got that set. Now we're going to come into our catalog images, and this is where our ad creatives are going to be created, and this is where our ad copy comes in. All right, so you'll notice that you have dynamic formats as a creative, and it is currently switched on. So basically what that does is it will deliver the format and ad creative most likely to resonate with the audience who is viewing the ad, okay? So you can see here it's pulled across the products, and then in the primary text, this is where we place our copy, okay? So just remember, this is an abandoned cart, okay? So you want to think about, the type of content that you're going to be putting in here. And it might be something along the lines of, depending who your audience is, you will really want to speak to them, how you would communicate to them on social media, in an email. If you've got an abandoned cart email, great, you could pull out some of that copy as well. So you could just put, hey lovely, I noticed you had your eyes on these. And then you're just going to just remember, because people will abandon the cart for so many different reasons. They get busy, or they go to get their card and then something else happens, the phone rings, we're really busy all the time. So you just want to make sure that you word this really softly, and just really communicate with them, just to say, hey, I know she had your eyes on these products. Would you like to complete your order or complete your purchase? You could include a little emoji in there if you would like to as well. Totally up to you and how you would, speak to that audience. Or you just might put All right, so then we come down to our headline. So this is the name of the product, and this will automatically sync across for you. And then in here, I like to pop in the price. And then we've got our website URL. And then the other thing that you just want to double check is to make sure that you have a call to action that says shop now. And I believe this could potentially be changing to view shop instead of shop now. So just keep an eye out for that. And you want to make sure that your Facebook pixel is ticked and that it is green and active. And then once you've done that, that's your abandoned cart. You're going to hit publish. Okay, so that's ad 1 done. Now we are going to move on to our remarketing campaign. Okay, so we're going to let that publish Okay, so you can see here 3 different tabs. Our campaigns, this is where all of our campaigns will be sitting. Then we have our ad sets. Our ad sets is where our audiences go, and our ads is where our ad creatives go. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to now do our remarketing campaign. Again, we're going to click on create. We're going to name our campaign. With a date on it. Again, I'm going to use campaign budget optimization. So in this campaign is going to be socials, website visitors, and then we might use a carousel of products. Okay, so we're going to click save to draft. We are going to use conversions. Sorry, I did not choose that. So we're choosing conversions. Our daily budget is going to be $10 a day. Totally up to you on your budget. You can do it from $5 a day and see how you go. But I find $10 a day is a nice little sweet spot, and then I'm able to increase the budget if we start generating sales from that. So now we're coming into where we create or set our audiences. So in the conversions, you want to make sure your pixel is chosen inside of there. And remember, we are going to be optimizing for purchases inside of here. Now you can see that none of these are currently active at the moment. So we want purchases. So yours should be green, okay? And then we're going to come down to our audiences, and this is where we create or place inside our warm audiences under custom audiences, okay? So remember, make sure you're changing the location wherever you're based, and we are going to click inside of here, and it should drop down. There we go. So you can see here the lookalike audiences, that's where they appear as well. But we want our custom audiences, our warm audiences, those who've already engaged with us. All right, so then you can see that was an Instagram account that we created. And I am just going to go ahead and place all of these into the same ad, okay? So, whoop. Don't want that one. So I'm just going to include all of the social media. You could include, see here I created a blog URL, so you could include that. You could include all website visitors, everyone who has visited a particular collection, and so on. So once you've got all of your warm audience in there, you can include your email list as well if you want to. For those of you who have a lot of repeat buyers, this is where you can include that list inside of here. If you're launching a new product or anything like that, you can upload that custom audience into here as well. All right, so once you've got all your warm audiences there, then we're going to just check. We're going to leave Australia on. We're leaving the age there, okay. And then the placements. So we are going to leave automatic placements on, as I said before, and optimization is conversion, so that's all good there. Now we're going to come across to our ad creative. All right, so this is where we are going to use a carousel feature. And again, you can fill in the carousel automatically by bringing in your catalog, or you can upload your own images if you wish to inside of a carousel. But I just really like to use the dynamic product set because it just brings across all of those for you. Now, if I just wanted to focus on a particular item, and maybe it was people who had, shown interest in konjac sponges, okay, then I could just choose a particular product set to just display those products. And what we're going to do now is come down to where we include our ad copy. So we've already got the product name in there and the product price. Now we want to include our primary text. And over here, it's obviously showing you how your ad looks. Okay, so inside of here is going to be where our ad copy goes. And I already have some ad copy that I created earlier. Actually, what we're going to do, we are going to use a testimonial inside of this ad. Just as an example. Now, what you can also include in here, if you have some testimonials, I like to use the little star emojis because it just gives it a little bit of a pop inside of the news feed. Go ahead and paste that in there. Okay, and then we're just going to, you can send them to a particular product URL in here as well. I'll share with you some ad copy examples that you can possibly use as well. URL, and then you just want to check obviously that your pixel is set to active, and we are going to go ahead and publish that. First of all, I just want to make sure that the ad is not going to go live yet. So I'm going to put that into draft and then I'll hit publish. All right, so that's ad number 2. We now have an abandoned cart to capture those people who haven't checked out. And now we also have a ad that is going out to our warm audience, okay? People who have been to our website, engaged on social media, but maybe not visited the website. We now have an ad going out to them. So you can kind of see how this would fit in along your customer value journey. All right, let's do our last ad, which is for our cold audiences. So again, we're going to click on create, and this is going to be a traffic campaign going to lookalike audiences of 1%, and then you're going to include the date. I'm very particular about naming my campaigns because it makes it easier for when I am auditing ads every month. So that's just a habit that I've gotten into. You don't need to do that. And then instead of campaign budget optimization, I'm going to set the budget at our ad set level, okay? And I'm just going to name that. Okay, so this is just a really basic cold traffic brand awareness campaign. I'm going to save that as draft. Again, just remember, best practice, just turn it off in case. Okay, so we've got our traffic campaign. Now you'll notice I'm going to set the ad budget in the ad set level, so in the second tier. And there's a few different reasons why I do this, but when you're just starting out, and if you did want to test different audiences, then you could do it in two separate campaigns, or you could do it by duplicating the audiences. But just follow along for this one. Budget and schedule, we're going to run at $10 a day. You can do it from $5, whatever your budget is. But you do want to leave some room to be able to increase the budget sometimes, especially when you're generating purchases. All right. And then, so instead of choosing detailed interest targeting, which is normally what we do, we're going to use lookalike audiences. So we're going to click in custom audiences. And we are going to choose our lookalikes. Now you will choose your lookalike on purchases and add to carts, okay? But as you can see here, you can choose different options from the others that we have created. So you will choose those who have purchased and those who have added to cart. Now, if you don't have enough purchases or add to carts, like in this example, then you can upload your email list and create a lookalike audience at 1% of that as well. Or you can create your lookalike audiences based off your social media that you have. So for those of you who have, quite a lot of purchases occurring maybe daily, weekly, and monthly, you'll be able to create those. But if you don't, then you can use your lookalike audiences in this instance. So you have some different options to play around with. All right, so I'm just going to use those 3 lookalike audiences. You can include more. Just make sure that you have all the 1% audiences together. If you want to test others, then I suggest duplicating a campaign and including a different type of audience. All right, so but if this is sort of your first time in doing this, then I would just stick to the basics and see how you go, just to really get some data and to get some metrics. So again, we're leaving automatic placements on, and we are going to be optimizing for link clicks. So we want people to click from our ad through to our website. And then when it comes to our ad creative, again, I am possibly going to think about using the Konjac sponges again as an example, because I just want to show you the difference in ad copy that I'm going to be using. So again, I'm going to use a carousel, and we are going to fill that carousel dynamically. And I just want to pull in the Konjac sponges. Now you can use video, you can use just a simple image. You don't have to use your product carousel at all. You would just choose a different format inside of here. So, you can pull images and content across from your Instagram and your Facebook business page. You can use previous stories as well if you would like to. There's lots of different options you have, but I just like for e-commerce, I like to be able to display the products in a carousel. And then what I'm going to do with the ad copy is I have written some ad copy that I've had previously, and that worked really well as well. So I'm just going to wait for that to upload. But with your ad copy, it's just really important to expand on your products. It's really important to just not go, here's a coupon code for 20% off, or get 20% off now, okay? Because it just doesn't entice people enough, it's not going to make you stand out. So I love sharing a business's story, why they got started. I love sharing about the products. Think about the before and after. What are the pain points that you're trying to solve for your audience? And that's how you really want to be thinking about writing your ad copy. And I'll definitely share some examples that you can download for yourself. But just really think about that. And sometimes it can be really tricky, but just take some time to really think about that ad copy. Now, with this ad copy, I have taken an approach of, so a konjac sponge, it cleanses your skin. It's a natural product. It's actually a plant. So I took the approach of using that on average, women apply 168 chemicals to their faces daily through cosmetic use. Oh my gosh. And the average cosmetic contains 15 to 50 ingredients. Okay, so, I want them to read this and take a different approach. Using something that is more gentle and soft on their skin. It's the ultimate natural beauty tool. And so, the konjac sponge is 100% natural plant fibers, certified vegan and cruelty free. It's the color, 100% coloring and additive free, leaving skin soft, smooth, and healthy. Okay, so then I have included in here a coupon code, but we don't need to include that. And then I just like to put a little bit of spacing between. This is quite long ad copy. Your ad copy doesn't need to be this long, but obviously I like to test to see what works the best. All right, and then that is my ad copy, okay? So obviously make sure your URL, your pixel, again, make sure that that's active. If you do wish to choose like a single image, like I said, you just go ahead, come up to where you choose your creatives, your ad creative. Let's go up here. And if you wanted to use a video of your product being used, or behind the scenes of your, maybe packing orders or creating products, whatever that might be, video is a really powerful way to do that. So totally up to you how you want to, share those formats. Maybe you would like to test a video and a carousel ad. But this is just, I like to do this and then get some data, get some feedback and see where to go from there. So I'm going to hit publish on this. So there are 3 different types of campaigns that we have walked through and have completed in setting up. Very quick tutorial on setting up 3 different campaigns and your audiences. But I have provided some checklists and things for you to follow along with, and also some ad copy templates that you'll be able to print out and download to get some ideas from. So once you have, maybe you just want to start with one campaign and it might be just your abandoned carts. You might just want to start with generating some new traffic to your store, okay? And getting, especially if that pixel's new, you want to start to sort of prime that up a little bit. So you can choose one of those campaigns to start. You don't have to do all 3, but they're just the 3 campaigns from, converting your current traffic into purchases, converting your abandoned carts into sales and purchases, and then sending more traffic, new eyeballs, new audiences who are like, who are already like the people that currently purchase from you. So you'll notice that you will start to collect data and go from there, but just see how you go. Run those campaigns for 3 to 4 days and see what's happening. See if you're generating any purchases or if you're generating any link clicks and things like that. But once you have those campaigns set up, all you really need to do is turn on those toggles when you're ready to go live. And what will happen is in this delivery method here, or delivery column, this is where it will tell you if your ad is in review or if it is active. Okay, so it'll process. Sometimes it can take 10, sometimes it can take, half an hour to go off and get reviewed by Facebook. Other times it'll go active straight away. But just be wary of that. If it stays in review for longer than 24 hours, then basically you can turn that off, duplicate it and turn it back on again, and go and start sort of again. Or if you want to turn an ad campaign off, just hit that little toggle, and as long as it says off, then you're all good to go. So I really hope that you have taken away, even just one thing to implement into your ad campaigns. Right now, like I said, it doesn't have to be all three, it can just be one. And you might just want to start with an abandoned cart ad, or you might want to just start driving some traffic to your website. But I really hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that it helps you to better understand how to set up your campaigns and how to get the most use out of using Facebook and Instagram ads. Okay, so the placements inside of there is where you will see that Instagram is an option available, but basically on a whole we always are sending traffic to Facebook and Instagram. So just let me show you this really quickly, because I know that is a question that I get asked all the time. Like, are we running ads to Instagram as well? And so there's lots of different placements that you can run ads to. You have the Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Facebook Messenger. So there are lots of different options to choose from. I'm going to go into this ad set and just show you this really quickly, because it is one of the biggest questions I get asked. Just so you're aware, just so you can see where it sits. I'm going to click on this campaign and I'm just going to click on edit. And if we scroll down to placements, okay, so in placements, if you clicked on manual placements, it's going to show you all the placements available: Facebook, Audience Network, Instagram, Messenger. But I just like to leave it on automatic placements. That means it's going to go across all of these platforms here. It'll go to stories, everything like that. So automatic placement, Facebook will do the hard work for you on choosing which placement is the most interactive, generating the most sales and things like that. So that's why I leave it on automatic. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I truly hope that you learned something and took something away from that. And I can't wait to hear what you set up and how you go with it. Thank you for having me, and I'll see you on the inside.